my snack bag. Wow. Who did this? Who the freak ate my snack bag? Wow.
Hello and welcome everyone to the Underground Cave. I am Geltip and this is Mini Painting with Geltip. This is not a tutorial stream. It's just me working through my pile of shame while you watch and hobby along. However, if you do happen to learn anything or get inspired to paint a miniature, that's awesome. Tonight is Thursday, which means we're going to continue on with our paint along, and we're going to our green Dragonborn that you'll see right over here. That is from Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures. It's one of the Dragonborn fighters that you will get in a 2 fighter pack. And there's also alternative poses for these, so you can get 4 dragon fighters. And so the one that we're painting is what you see on the screen right here, something like that. And then there's an alternative version that you could be painting up. Has the same shield, has the same armor, everything else. So whatever you're painting up, it'll be sort of the same. So hopefully this is going to be the second installment, so hopefully you're all caught up where we left off last week, which is where we painted the scales green. We did a little bit of clear green over all of that stuff, and we did the armor. So today I'm hoping to trim the armor with a little bit of red and work on some pants and find out what else we can do on our Dragonborn. So if you're ready, go grab your favorite beverage, sit back and relax and paint along with us. Join me in chat if you have any questions, and let's paint. Okay, here we go. So some of you might just want to wait till the end of the video and then watch it on VOD. I will say this, that after this session of the paint-alongs are done, then that video will not be there. So you might want to make sure that you can watch that before we end the stream or find a way to save it. Let's turn this on here. Turn this on. I don't know what happened to my camera. Let's go find out what happened to my camera. Let's see. Do I have a paint? I have a paint palette. Let's get the camera. I don't know why I don't have a camera. Let's see. Let's come over here. Configure the video. No, we don't want to do that. I don't want to configure the video. What I want is to know why okay, there we go. Close. Bring this guy into view. Make sure I have a wet palette. I do. All right. So we're working on this guy. This is our paint along that we're doing. We have this week and next week. So whatever we don't finish this week, we will work on next week. I did learn that there's 3 Thursdays in February, so we'll try to get this done next week. And then there's 5 in March. So our March is the Dark Elf Priestess, which is right here. And that is Reaper. Let me see if I can find her. That would be a Bones Black Dark Elf Priestess 44071. Whoops. 44071 by Bobby Jackson. You can also get her in metal. I don't remember what the metal number is for her. I'll have to find it. I have her somewhere. But this is our March paint along. So if you haven't gotten your Dark Elf Priestess, please do so. I will get the color palette up hopefully next week, and we'll start her in March. And then if we end up needing more time for this gentleman, then we'll find some time in March to kind of work him in. But we're going to try to get him done this next Thursday. So the only thing I did is I went back with my Gothic Brown, and I kind of I mixed a little bit of ivory in there, and I just kind of made this color. I put a second coat on here because it was a little runny. So that's all I had done off stream. I haven't done anything else on or off stream. So we're gonna start getting him a little more color, which means we're gonna trim the armor on him. We're gonna get some nice red trim on there. We'll do a little bit more with that handle and the pants. So that's kind of where I want to go with him. So let's get some music on. Let's see, what's a good paint along music? Meditation. Do we want to do meditation? Let's try some meditation. See if it puts you to sleep. All right. So I did get to wash my brushes offline, which is always a good thing to do. Then you just have to find it. So for this particular task, I want to use a thin enough brush. I want to use a thin enough brush that so see, I'm going to use something like this. This is like a little liner, because I want to do a lot of the lining. So I'll show you how we're going to do the lining. And what we're going to do is we're going to be working with our black. So whatever black you have, we're going to go around that first. To really sell the trim, we're going to go with a little bit of white underneath. And then we'll finish it off with some red. So that's what we're going to do. We're not going to worry about any kind of undercolor. I could do a dark green, but that'll bring out the red a little bit more, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to make this nice and simple. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off, I'm going to put my black in the middle. Might use quite a bit of that. And then we're going to put our white next to it in case we need to mix it up. Okay. And we're going to take a nice big brush and we're going to just slop some paint, some red paint onto our palette. This looks like a nice brush to do that with. And so I'm just going to try to take, and I'm just going to put it over here in this corner here. Now this is air paint, so I don't necessarily need to do this. I can paint right from the pot if I want to, but. And then I'm going to put some over here just in case I want to mix some of it. This way I keep the, in case I need it for anything else. Also, I don't have to waste all that excess. Okay. And the next thing we're going to need is a paper towel. Paper towel we're going to need just to make sure we're not too runny, because this step here, if you do it, if it's too runny, it's going to flow all over the armor, and we don't want that. So the first part to this is to take the rim. Maybe I'll zoom in on this just a little bit more so that you can see what's going on. So let me just get to the camera here. Let's see. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Let's go to 300. And we'll put the autofocus on so it does its autofocusing first. Come on. There we go, there we go, come on. Come on, you can do it. And once you get it to the desired focus, take it right off, apply. There we go. Now it's nice and zoomed in so you can see what I'm doing. And the trick here is to hold the miniature so that you're always drawing a line to you. So if I'm going to hold it this way, I'm going to draw the line to me. You see how that... Whoops. See how that works? Drawing the line to me. If I try to draw it this way, you might not get a straight line. See, you get a little wave there. So if I want to do this, I can go and just fall down. It'll be nice and straight. So you want to turn the miniature so you're coming down. So like right here, where his neck piece is, I want to keep that nice and vertical. And I'm going to put my eyes down so I can see this. Make sure that you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to try to do this on camera. But I'm just going to take this rim right here. Nice and slow. I got to make sure I don't hit the little sword. See, because the sword, see what the sword's going to do? It's going to make it go into his chest. We don't want to do that. So you have to do this very slow. And you have to find that angle so that it's straight down to you. I know that the camera's probably not seeing straight down, and you want to just hit that rim. Okay? I'm going to do the same thing this way. So I'm going to turn the miniature. I'm going to do the same thing on that rim. And so you get that nice little black line, and we're going to keep doing that. So now I have these right here that I'll do. And I'll do it right here. Okay. We got it underneath. So I'll just make sure that you can see what I'm doing. And this is a curve. So sometimes with a curve, you can hit the edge of that curve. I don't like doing it this way. Now, we started out with the black to put the silver on. Whoops. So if you get black on the armor, that's fine. We can always put silver back over it. But you see, if I don't move the miniature to a position where I can just come straight down, it makes it very difficult. Of course, if I don't have paint on the brush, it also becomes very difficult. But the whole point is to get the black in here because we want to be able to see the red. So what this black is going to do is going to tone down everything around the red area. So there's a chance that you're not going to be able to see because my hand's going to be in the way, but I have to contort the miniature in such a way that I can get at something. So hopefully I'll try to keep it on camera if I can, so you can see what I'm doing. My brush is not straight. So let's see. This is going to be tricky. It's going to be very tricky. Alright. I don't know if I got all of that the way I wanted to. Sometimes you have to do multiple passes. Yeah, I didn't get it there. Alright, let's see. So we're just trying to get as much of this black as we can. We'll go over it with the white and then the red. The white is going to show up just so you could tell where to put the red. If you put the red on over the black, it may be too muted down and you're not going to get the vibrancy you're looking for. And like I said, we did all of these pieces black before the armor went on, so the black is not going to be a big mess up if you get it on the metal, because you can always put metal back on the black. But you can start to see now it separates it from the actual green of his scales. So you get to see some of that armor. And we're going to do the same thing on his arms. on his shoulders. So right here on his arms, just take this black and very slowly paint to you. See what happened right there? I tried to go backward to fix something. Going backward never works. Some people might be able to do it. I shouldn't say it never works. Some people may be able to do it. I cannot. I have to twist the miniature. So if you wonder why I keep turning the miniature here and this way and that way, it's to get the right angle of painting. That's what you want to do. You want to get the right angle to paint. Make life easy for yourself. So right here. Right here. Now get that black. It's a very simple technique you can use to add some character to armor. Give it some color. And all we're doing is 3 steps. Whoops. That was a little fat black line there. Again, I'll do it on the knee here. With these curved surfaces, you want to take it as slow as possible and just get the rim that you are looking to get. And so this is all we're doing right now, so you can do as much of the rim on the armor as you want. You don't have to. You can even take this technique and just do a brighter silver and call it good. I'm gonna go and do a little bit of color on it. And I can see where I missed some silver right up there, so I'm going to do this all black right here. And then I'll get in there with the silver afterward. But I'll just kind of get that to be nice, nice black shadow in there. Now, one of the things that you can do is take this black and we'll thin it down just a little bit. Put it on a paper towel just to get some of the moisture out. So you get it back to a point and you can actually add a little bit of shadow underneath this. This will kind of bring out the top of this shield. And then we'll go with the normal black. And I'm going to actually do this rim right here. Same thing over here. And just because I want to, I'm going to actually do this little horse emblem in this black. I don't think it's a horse emblem. What am I saying? It's a dragon emblem. He's a dragon. I'm just using the flat edge of this just to paint that upper area. Eventually the contours of the symbol will come out. The one thing you have to be careful with, but because the silver has black, I'm going to angle this so that I can see this edge right here, and I'm going to do this edge down here. Like so. And I'm going to just do that around the emblem. Just going to hit this little edge. I'm going to try not to get on the shield as much as possible. Because what I'll do is when I do the white, I'll only do the top surface so that there's this kind of black outline. Some people may want to do this purple to get a purple outline instead of the black. Get under the jawline here. Alright. There we go. And we got some more trim to do. So I will work on that as you guys work on yours. Again, if you're painting along and you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. I will always explain my reasoning for doing something. See, I'm trying to do it side by side now, and it didn't work. So I have to remember my own rule. And what is this for? I have no idea. I don't know why I'm painting this guy. I just thought he would be easy for our first paint along. Be interesting to see what you guys come up with for yours. I'm going to actually separate the pants here. So I'm going to do a little rim on his, the tail end of his scale mail. This will actually frame it, and then it'll separate it from, whoops, that's not what you want to do. We can fix that. My brush slipped and hit the pants, but we haven't done anything to those pants yet. That's just the one color that we were working with. So that kind of separates out that the pants from the chainmail, and we'll make that have a rim too. Let's see. There's some pieces right here. That has some rim to it, right around the arms, so it's like a sleeveless type thing. Oops, I think I went a little too overboard on that. We'll do this here. Okay. And I think we'll frame in these shoulder pads as well. Right here. Just like so. frame it in over here as well. Just keeping all of the surfaces kind of separated, so his scales from the armor. I know you can't really see it right yet because it's black, but we have separated things out. Just going around looking to see if there's anything else we want to separate out. I'm gonna separate out this part right up here. This looks like it doesn't look like it has a rim, but I kind of want to set it apart from the pants, so I'm gonna give it a rim. Again, a quick way to... Now, I did mess up on here. So there's a metal thing that goes from his belt down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just paint all of this black again, and we'll come back with some silver. So that goes like right on top of his belt. So again, like I said, sometimes your sculpts don't give you all of the details. See, but I saw that online and I was like, oh, I totally messed that up. So this part right here is a metal piece. So we'll do that. All right. All right. So he's got the little metal piece that's going to hang down. He's got the knee pads, the shoulder pads we did, and we have everything kind of rimmed. So we're going to start with the shield so you can practice this. I'm going to take that white that we did. This is just pure white. You can use ivory if you would like. But what I want to do is I want to really just be nice and simple with this. Sometimes you can use the edge of your brush, but the point is also going to be one of your biggest things here. And you want to just stay in the middle of that black. So on the shield, we're going to just start on the shield. And you kind of want to be nice and light. Touch it very lightly. It is a powerful color. It's the extreme light on the extreme black, so you're going to see it. And you want to do it in such a way that you get black on the both sides. And you want to be nice and even with it. Okay. See how that is? So it'll kind of look like some light silver. So again, you want to make sure you have a point, and you can either do it this way, the way I'm doing it, right? Or you can use the edge of your brush and just hit the top. Some people like to do that. Just make sure you're turning the miniature so you're not hitting things you don't want to hit. So you can do it either way. It's just you have to be nice and slow with it. And you'll get something that resembles that. Now, if it doesn't stay white, don't worry, you don't have to lighten anything up. I'm just kind of evening things off here. You don't have to light anything up because you're going to go back over it with the red. and you're going to do the same thing. So you just let that dry. Take your red. You just go over that, all of that white you just did. So you can either do the side of your brush, this, or you can use the tip of your brush so do not use too much. So I'm either going to use the tip and draw down, or I'll use the side of my brush for the curves. Don't be afraid to turn the miniature around to get where you need to get. And that is a nice red streak. Now if you see some white somewhere, you paint over it with the red, and if you got too much red, then you just have to do some black. This you could do a second coat because it may be too bright, but we want to be able to see the red. So I would consider a second coat if it's not if it's too bright for you. There we go. All right. Take some white. If you're not ready for the armor yet, take some white. Use the flat edge and just do the top of this dragon. And just follow the contours. You don't have to look for any kind of, you don't have to draw anything here. Just let that black outline everything and just use the flat edge of the brush. And then you'll get that nice black outline, and you get that nice white. And we'll use the nice clean water we have for our white. We can thin out the white. Make sure you get rid of some of that moisture. You don't want it to fly all over the place. And you can go ahead and just kind of even things off with this nice thin white. So the first white was just to kind of get it on there. And then this nice liquidy thin white we're using to kind of make it nice and smooth. Kind of like icing a cake. You get that pre-layer on, it looks all gunky because you're getting it all over the cake. And then when you get that next wave of frosting on, it's a nice smooth glaze. All right, so we gotta wait for that to dry. That's a little bit heavier of a piece. So while that's drying, I'm just gonna go ahead with my white and I'm gonna start lining the armor using the same tools and tricks that I did with the black. Using the tip to draw the line, keeping some of that black there. That's what we're doing here. Just make sure you get the model into the miniature into a place where you can start attacking those little trims using the brush tip and drawing those lines going down. Oops. I did not have the right angle on that. So we'll come back with a black on that. Yeah, normally I wouldn't be doing something like this on camera for you to see. I would just be kind of like in my zone. I'd be putting the miniature where I need to have it, but I'm trying to keep it on camera for you to actually see what I'm doing. And hopefully I'm actually succeeding into that. Because there's nothing like painting a miniature and then you can't see what the guy's doing. Or the girl. Alright. So I know that this part of this looks a little thick, but I gotta fix some of that color. Let's do around the neck. And notice that I don't do little lines. Like I'm not doing this. Whoops. It'd be helpful if you could see what I'm doing. I'm not doing this. Alright? That's not gonna help me. You need one line. Just go once, and if you can't go anymore, don't come back in here. Start back up here and follow along. So, because each time you hit it with a lighter, like a very light stroke, it, see, like, I didn't hit it all the way there. So I'm not going to start where I ended. I'm going to go back to where I began and try to get it in one shot. Just like so. You want that nice even line. And you're not going to get that if you... Sometimes you have to turn the miniature and go the other way, but eventually you want to make sure that you have that line to be very precise. See, that's not a very precise line that I just did there. So if you want to know why I always start back over, that's why. It's because I don't think I can get a consistent line doing little strokes. Maybe you can. Maybe there are people that can do it. I'm just not one of those people. So now you get to start seeing some of that where that armor is. And I'll just do this piece down here, and then we'll get some red on it so you can see how the armor is going to look. Okay. So there's that. Let's go get some red on this. So again, I'm going to take some of my red. I'm going to take the flat end, and anything that's white is going to get the red. So this dragon right here, I'll just do this all in red. I may need a second coat. I don't know. But I'm just kind of painting on. This is one way to paint red on black surfaces. You can paint it white and then get the color in there. It will brighten it up, so you might want a second coat just to kind of darken it back down. And we could have done this green. You could have done a green dragon if you wanted to. Everything that I'm doing here, I could do gold. Right? Alright. Truth time. Let's see how this is going to look. Now this you're just trying to tint that white. So if you're nice and controlled and you're slow, you have a way of actually getting that white line to be a red line. You just don't want to... Here, you're not really drawing the red line. You're just trying to get rid of the white. So you're just making... The white was supposed to help you get that line. So now you're just painting over the white, leaving some of that black as a separator. So you're painting over a white surface is what you're doing here. That's why I'm not doing a whole complete drawing of a line. I'm still putting my miniature in a place where I can easily kind of cover the white. And you'll get used to actually moving the miniature around. But it's all about angles and how you get to a certain place, and how you can easily get things painted. It's all about the brush strokes. Again, if this becomes too bright, we just do it again. Or you can use a darker red. You can start with a darker red. I mean, you could just totally do silver again instead of white and paint this over a silver. Although I think it'll mute down your red and you're not going to get that vibrancy you want. But you can do it. Now you're going to see some white on here. That's because the white is too thick in some areas, so I'll go back over with a thin black, and just kind of bring that down. And I don't want to use too thick of a black, because if I get black on the trim, then it's going to be tough for me to redo that trim. So you're trying to be nice and controlled here. And you're trying to be as careful as you can, at least in this part of the miniature. And I haven't trimmed everything yet, so there we go. That's some of it. Try this again. Here's his little knees. So that's just a quick, like when I put him on the table, he'll look fine. That's that red and green, but there's a lot more that we have to do on him. I still have to trim all the way around the armor, and then we can also do a little bit of highlighting in certain areas of the red armor. Remember, this is all just kind of base coloring right now. But I think I'm gonna move on because I want to do some of the pants, and then so offline, or maybe if we have time towards the where I want to do, I'm just gonna keep trimming this red onto this armor, and then if I do that offline, then I'll do it offline. But there's other parts here that I want to paint up. So, but that's the idea here. So I can kind of see that there's a rim in here that I need to get at. So, and again, I can go over this red if it's too bright. I can go over it again very carefully, just to kind of even stuff off, smooth it down, because we're just kind of playing around, getting the white on there, and now that I say that, I'm actually going in and just redoing where this red is, just to make it a little bit more viable. Alright. So, the pants. I think we did a little bit of ivory and Gother brown. So that's what we're going to do. We'll take some of this Gother brown here. Thin it down just a little bit. Actually, let's see. Let's do these folds for a second. Yeah. So I put ivory in it, so let me get my ivory out. And if I remember, it was three Gothers, 1 ivory. 1, 2, 3 ivory. Yep. So I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to kind of use this color just to clean up some areas, kind of where this black got onto the pants. Okay. Got some green on the pants here. Kind of clean that up just a little bit. All right. And we'll take some of this. 1, 2, 3. One of these. Mix it up with some water. And let's just kind of get this. All right. Now he has stuff on his pants that I'm not worried about right now. I'll wait until I'm done getting the pants stuff done. And I didn't do a good job. I just took him out of the package. I didn't do any kind of mold line on him. But he's not really going into competition. He's more or less just going to go on the table for somebody to use. Maybe I just sell him. Who knows? How many people play a green dragon? Green Dragonborn, right? Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that ivory and I'm going to take some Gother brown. Okay. I'm just trying to clean it up here. Alright, we're going to take, we did 3 to 1, so there's ivory in here. So what I want to do is, I don't want to go fully Gother brown yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do I'm going to do a 2 to 1 mixture here. It'll look kind of similar, but I want it a little bit darker. And this I really kind of want watery. So it's like a glaze consistency. We're going to take our lining brush again, right? That small brush. Put it on the paper towel so it makes a point. It almost looks like there's nothing on that brush. Oops. Looks like there's almost nothing on that brush. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to kind of go into these folds with this darker, watered down color. Again, take this. I'm not trying to wash the folds, I'm just trying to tint them. And there's a reason I'm doing that. So you just kind of find where the folds are. So we're just kind of glazing in our shadows. We're going to add a little bit more of the Gother brown into that nice thin mixture. Do the same thing. We're just going to kind of make it nice and wet. Because we want, so the idea is I want it to I want it to flow in the fold. I don't want it to go all over the place, and I don't want to just dry brush it. I could just do a nice dark brown and then just do a light brown over it. But I feel like if this can just kind of fill in where I want it to fill in, then it makes it a little bit more natural and realistic. So you can get right here and in between. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of glazing in, tinting in the folds, letting the moisture kind of dictate the fold instead of me trying to paint over the fold and getting into the fold. And this is kind of what contrast does, right? You take the contrast and you tint all of it, and then eventually what happens is it just kind of flows where it needs to go, and it pulls away from the high spots. But this isn't really, we're not using contrast. But you can start to see how those are coming through. And then you just take more of this Gothic brown and you stick it in this little mixture here. Just touch your paper towel. And again, just kind of find where you want those nice dark folds. And I'm just going to try to stick to the inside and underneath. And under the armor. I mean, I'm not opposed to contrast. I'm not opposed to that stuff, but you can definitely see the change here versus what's in front. We haven't done anything in front. So we'll just do that. Now, if I decide that I want to do the front, I mean, look at how dark this is in the front, because we didn't build up the shadow. Of course, down here it doesn't matter because this is all kind of hidden away from the light. These are nice dark recesses. Then I could take this. I could just take regular Gothic brown at this point, and I could just kind of get in the middle there and really darken this up. Also, if you stay to the tops of the folds, right? Like if you turn them upside down and you just do like the tops of the fold and let the bottom of the fold get the light, you'll get more of an effect. So for example, where do I want to show? So like right here, if I just stay on this upper part of the fold right here, then it sells the bottom of the, right? So you do the top here, you do the top here, you do the top right here. That's all. Just spot hitting. Like all of these are like little armor pieces that we'll eventually put in there, but we're just getting the main thing. Now, if I want to hit the folds, since we did a 3-to-1 mixture, 1, 2, 3. What I'll do is I'll add more ivory. So this is my 3 to 1. There's my 3 to 2. Actually, that might be my 3 to 1 right there. There's my 3 to 2. This one's just a little bit lighter. We'll add a little bit of water for mixing purposes. And then we can just kind of hit, same way we were doing with the armor, we can just hit like some of the tops of the folds. So like right here. Right here. Right? You don't want to hit directly on top of the fold. You want to hit, you want to hit like the top edge of the fold, because we hit the top edge of the fold with the dark. So you kind of want to just kind of hit it right here. And it starts to bring out a little bit more of the pants. A lot of people just stay in the middle of the fold, but if you can start to do it in a direction where you're only hitting the top edge of the fold, and then you're hitting the bottom of the top of the the bottom edge of the top of the fold with the dark, it'll make it seem a little bit more cloth-like, and you'll get more of the contrast. I'm just looking for places that I can put highlights to accent certain folds. And so what that does is it also kind of brings out that red, kind of separates the knee pad from the pants, right? It's all about separating colors, getting things to look a little bit, what's the right word I'm looking for here? You want to see all the colors you put in there, right? That's a piece of metal right there that we have to worry about. Okay. So say we got some brown pants on there. It doesn't distract from the miniature. We have like the red, we have the green, and that black. We still have to trim a bunch of the metal on the black. Or excuse me, it's trim the armor with the white and the red. That's what I'm trying to say here. Alright, so before we get back into trimming stuff, I did want to get the pants done. I think the pants are going to be fine. We can certainly go higher in some places, or I should say brighter. But again, tops of the folds here, if you do the bottom of the fold the darker color, you can make you can make movement in your static miniature. All right. So the next thing I want to do is I think the last thing we did last week was we kind of washed this armor down after we got the silver. I want to go back in and I want to touch up some of the high points of the scale mail. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. As you can tell, I'm trying to avoid the edging again, only because it's tedious. It's going to take a while. What I will do, however, is take that red and go back over this dragon, because that only got one shot of red. And like we did with the white, I'm just going to kind of thin this down a little bit, just so that my red, since there's already red there anyway, this red will kind of fill in those gaps. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the side of my brush to kind of use this thin red paint to kind of just go over, give this a second coat. And it should kind of smooth out all of that red. So we got that. All right. Let's go to this scale mail and start taking some bright silver and very controlled, like we've been doing all night, using the tip of the brush coming down. There's two portions of this. There's one that is the upper half of the scale and the bottom half, or the bottom part of the scale. I'm only going to hold this and just do like the upper half. So I kind of want to do it there. So you're only doing like half the scale, but by doing this you're going to create some contrast. And I'm trying to bring the brightness back from doing the black wash, because we wanted to get into those areas. So we wanted to get this to be separated. So I'm just kind of hitting the tops of these with this nice bright silver. And then what I'll do is I'll take the darker silver and I'll hit the bottom parts, so that the only thing that is left to be dark is what's in between the scales. Excuse me. So you can start to see how that's coming out. We're only doing the top half of the scale, but if he's here, all that light kind of gets hit right there. And I'm even going to go around and do a little bit just to get this nice and bright right here, because I want it to be kind of separated. I want to separate his scales from the armor. I'll do the same thing here. These are much smaller scales. It's kind of weird that a Dragonborn would be wearing scale mail, but I mean, it is fantasy. Why worry about reality? Okay. So we just brought that out a bit. We'll do the same thing over here. Just gonna I'm gonna hold it this way now. If this is my picture, I'm just gonna hit these scales right here, like so. Same thing over here. Just the top halves. I'm not looking to do, I don't even have to do it down here because these are hidden away in the shadow. So I don't need to do the bright ones there. I do need to do the shoulder pads. So let's do the shoulder pads. And so this one, I'm going to do, so if I'm looking at them like this, the top half are the long pieces, not the short pieces. So we're just going to do these long pieces right here. I mean, we're not doing any kind of lighting, so there's no dynamic lighting going on, but still you want to follow the contours of the miniature. You don't want to hold it this way and do it. You want to be able to, here's the miniature, this is what it looks like. You want to give them the correct orientation. So just find your orientation and just highlight that way. And we'll get a little bit here on the top of his mask. Go. And then, why not? Let's get this right here using the flat edge of the blade. So there's a little indent right here that I'm going to try to keep. So and then I'm not going to do the underneath of the blade because that's not facing anything. I will do this area here though, so I'll use the edge of my brush to do that. Okay. Now he's starting to look like something, at least from here. There is one thing I want to do. I'm gonna, you know what? I am going to highlight something. I'm gonna highlight these individual plates. Whoops, that's too much. That was a little too much. Let me try this one more time. So it's like, it's just like this little brow up here, and then it's the little flat piece right here. Just giving those a little bit of a highlight. All right. I want to do a nice pink tongue in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off with a red, and it's gonna be a nice deep red. So I'm gonna actually paint red inside this mouth here where the tongue is. And I'm just trying to figure out how far I want to go back. You only want to stay on the bottom part of the, so you don't want to go to the top of the palate. You don't want to go to the top of the jaw, the roof of the mouth, I don't know what you want to call it. But the reason I'm doing the red there is because I'm going to start to fade it out and bring it to a pink. And so the first way I'm going to do that is actually add some ivory. So I'm going to add some ivory and just a touch of red paint. And this is going to be my base color. So the reason I have that red is because I do want the deep red to kind of be underneath, and the black is going to help me do that. And the idea is, as I keep coming out, I'm going to keep getting lighter. So, and I'm just making sure that I have just want to make sure I have all of the red that I need. Like right here is a spot that I'm going to need. I want to give some movement, so there's a little bit of his tongue up here above the teeth. It kind of curls back here, and then it comes down to a point. So I want to make sure I'm getting that type of movement. That's going to be important when we start highlighting this down. Okay. Now, while that's drying, we're going to go to our dark silver. So whatever you were using for your dark silver, we're going to go ahead and just kind of spot those bottoms of those scales. But I'm not going to go completely dark, so I'm going to add a little bit of dark to the light silver. So I'm going to take some of this light silver. I'm going to add quite a bit of dark. And again, since I held it this way, I did all the tops. Now I'm going to do all the bottoms in this. And you want to still want to highlight, because you want that dark to be in between. It's just a matter of, I can't really see it, so let's try this. Yeah, there we go. So it's probably like a 1-to-1 mix of the dark and the light silver. But I'm just hitting like the bottom now. I'm not really... And the light is gonna really reflect this color, so it's probably not even gonna look like I even shaded two different things. And I could go in and I could do the black. I could add a little wash of black in the recesses here to kind of separate everything out. I think we're okay with this, with not doing that. All right. What I can do, however, there's a lighting that I want to see if I can get at. See, I like this lighting right here. There's a lighting here that I kind of want to get at. So I'm just going to kind of work at getting something highlighted the way I see it in the light. I'm going to try to reflect this light. Problem is that the light moves, so I want to make sure that Alright, so I can see what I did here, so I can actually go through and manipulate this a little bit more. The problem with these paints is that it's going to reflect the light because it's metallic, but I did try to highlight it. Like, it looks much lighter here because I highlight it with a lighter silver than it does here. So, which is kind of the point, right? So for this right here, I know, you guys we're waiting to do the tongue. Like, so one of the things that I've learned is that if you're gonna highlight metal, and I think it's if you highlight anything really, if you just keep angling and it's not one fell swoop. Like, you can actually dry brush on silver and it will make it look inviting. And highlight. Sorry, not inviting. I was thinking of something else. Okay. Let me so right now the red is looking a little flat, but it's starting to pull away that green. Like, you get to see the green Dragonborn, but now all of that silver, you know, it's not just green, and you know, it's starting to come alive now. It's starting to look like something that you can put on the table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pink and I'm just going to very carefully, I'm not going to go on the sides of the tongue. I'm going to go on the flat edge. So what I want to do is I want to kind of come from the back and go to the front, go to the back, come to the front, and then I want to, in other words, there's a line that I want to keep in the middle of the tongue that's red. I want it to be that dark red. Okay. So if you can keep that line in there and just stay on the front of the tongue and on the top, don't do the sides, leave the sides nice and red. Again, that's the ivory to make it warmer. And what we're going to do is we're going to add more ivory to that. So you're going to take that mixture there, and I'm going to add ivory to it. And you're going to do the same thing, except this time you're going to stay more to the front. So you're not going to go all the way to the back. You're going to stay to the front. And you're going to keep keep that in the front, keeping that line in there. Okay. We gotta let that dry, but we'll keep fading that out here and there. So you see I got that nice red line in there, and then you get to see a little bit of muscle there. I'm going to take my Gother brown, and I'm going to go around, and I'm going to try to get the teeth. Actually, I'm not going to do that yet. I got to wait for the tongue to be done, because I think we have to go around with the black again. So, let us... I guess we're going to go back to the trim. Let's just do more of the trim on the armor. So, again, we did a lot of the black, so let's go and do some of the white. I think that's probably our best option at the moment to let things kind of settle down and dry. So, I don't have to zoom in. I probably already still zoomed in though. So remember, this is just, we did all that trim with black. So we're just going to do some trim of white. Once we get done with doing all this, we'll go back and clean stuff up, but let's get most of the trim done. That's the tedious part. And again, you don't have to do this. You can do this with a nice bright silver and call it a day. I just figured if you wanted to give a little character to your little piece here, you can do so. Trying to leave a little bit of black in between the armor rim and the green skin. I'm using the flat of my brush to get at the curves. And let's see, let's see if I can use the flat part of the brush to get at the tops of this. This is what scares me right here. That didn't come out too bad. I did mess up a little bit. See, we all mess up, but the point here, the point of miniature painting is if you mess up, you need to know how to fix it. But more importantly, those mess ups force you to say to yourself, that didn't work. What do I have to do to make it work? Alright, let's see. Alright. So we're going to use the tip of the brush again. Straight down. Draw my lines very, very lightly. Try to make one line. That's the big practice, right? Try not to make little tiny lines, but just make one nice long line. Okay. And we have to get around this area right here. And I think I got some right here. And then we have this nice curve right here, so we're just gonna I'm gonna come straight down with it. Might need to use the flat edge of the brush. I don't know, let's see. Oh, that didn't come out the way. Some of these sculpts you just can't help to, you have to kind of help the sculpt along a little bit. So when we go into cleanup mode, we'll help the sculpt do what it wanted to do in the first place. Alright, let's do the bottom knee here. Hopefully everybody's Thursday is doing well. Hopefully everybody's painting along. We're going to do actually I'm going to start with the trim back here. Trying not to get any on the pants. Alrighty. And we'll try to get these lines right in here. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I'm on camera doing these. It's such a hard, weird angle to get these at. But I'm turning the miniature so that I can just paint downward. If I go too fast, I'm going to make a mistake. So I'm trying to be as controlled as I can. Sometimes I have to use the flat edge of the brush, but that could have some consequences. I could go over the metal and I don't want to do that. So you just have to kind of hope and pray and practice. Practice, practice, practice. So see, with that white, you can even do it with a bright silver, like I said before, and you can get the similar effect. That light silver will pull away from the pants, and you'll get a nice break in the action, and it'll kind of look cleaner. It'll pop more. But we have decided that we're going to do some red trim. And now you're starting to understand a little bit of non-metallic because this white looks so bright. If I use grays to do my non-metallic, this would be sort of like the finishing touches. I don't know if I can get in here with this trim. Alright, so I'm going to have to contort the miniature. You may not see what I'm doing. I apologize in advance. I will show you. It's just the other parts of the knee plates. I'm just trying to hit with the tip of the brush. I may have to go in and clean some stuff up though, because you can see where I kind of made a little mistake with my white line. But that's alright. Things will get fixed. We don't have to worry too much. I'm just looking around, seeing if there's anything that needs to be made red. Nope. I think we're good. Alright. Well, we know the drill, right? But before we do that, let's get to the tongue again. This time I'm going to add even more ivory to the pink that we used. And we're going to go towards the tip of the tongue. And we don't want to go too far backward. I mean, we can do the corners of the mouth. Sometimes people will do one side. They'll highlight one side. I think I'm just going to stay towards the front here. Okay. So we started with the red, added ivory, did around, kept that red middle line, added more ivory, highlighted the edges around the tongue and into the tip, and then I added more ivory and I did the tip of the tongue. So at this point, when I go back in, we're going to start using a little bit of white in our mixture to really kind of highlight things we want highlighted on the tongue. But before we do that, let's go and do some more trim on the armor plates. So again, you're just going to take that red and paint over the white. I might leave a little bit of white because I may go back over it, or I might put my black back in around the rim. But for now, that's kind of what you want to do. You want to just take that red and paint over those white pieces, those white lines that you just created. And if you're falling behind or you're really trying to stay on top where I am and it's not working out and you're making mistakes, don't worry about your mistakes. Just keep going forward. We'll talk about fixing mistakes down the road. I haven't fixed any real mistakes yet, unless I get red somewhere that's not supposed to be red. Like if I put red on his face, I might go in and clean that up ASAP. But if you like that white line mistake that I made. I'm not going back to clean that up yet. I'll clean that up after. I mean, if I go clean it up now and I make another mistake with the white or the red, I mean, it's just going to be a frustrating time for anybody. So you have to pick and choose your battles. So I chose, I'm going to wait until my red trim is done on this guy and go from there. So there's a little bit more white there that I want, so I'll probably end up doing that black. Just to kind of separate out the trim from the scales, the green scales. But as you start to do this red trim, a lot of things start to get framed. So you'll start to see the Dragonborn get framed in the armor. You'll see the armor get framed within the red trim. Again, this isn't drawing a line, this is just me getting rid of that white around the armor. So I could draw the line, but if I feel like the white line's too thick, then my red line will also be too thick. Okay. Do the same thing over here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that still needs to get done. Like, I still have a whole armor piece that's not metal yet. I just painted it black. So you just have to get to a point where you're saying to yourself, okay, I can start to see my vision come through. Let's go clean up some other stuff. And if you're out there just painting away, don't feel scared. You can tell me how you like or dislike my choices of colors and painting. It'd always be nice to see on my Discord how people are painting their pieces. So if you ever feel you want to show off what we're painting along in the Discord, don't be afraid. I would love to see it. And we have some white here that I have to try to make work. I'm trying. Sometimes my film case gets in my way too. That's always a hassle because it breaks the flow of my brush. I see another white line that we have to get rid of. Oops. There we go. do it down here. See, there's a big blob of red right where all three of these come together that I'm going to have to try to figure out what to do with that. That might just have to get some black line to it. Okay. And let's see, I think we have this right here to do. And that kind of breaks it onto the pants too. I got a little bit on the pants, so we'll have to get some black line for that area as well. But I think nope. I have some red line to do over here. I hear somebody's raiding. Big Jim Slade Gaming is raiding with a party of 10. How are you doing, my friend? It's been a very long time. What's going on? Philly your Dragon, how you doing? Big Jim Slade Gaming, what's going on? Asmodeus Soul Pirate. Hey, Asmodeus, I was lurking in your channel a few days ago. So, how's it going? We have to wait for the... we have to wait for the X-Men theme song. Let me give you a quick shout out here. Thank you for that raid, sir. I appreciate it. Doing our Thursday night paint along. So in the Discord, I have a miniature that I have for February. It ends up being this Dragon Fighter that I put a color palette in the Discord, and I put the miniature in. And we're going to try it out for 3 months. So this is the February one. So I wanted this stream to be more of, you know, here's a miniature, here's a color palette, let's paint it together. So this is what the paint along is doing. We decided to do a green Dragonborn fighter, give him some red trim on his armor, so we're just trying to get all the normal colors on here, and then we'll kind of clean them up after. For the month of March, we're going to do the Dragon Reaper, the Reaper, the Dark Elf Priestess from Reaper Bones Black. So if you were interested in painting along in March, that is the 44071 Dark Elf Priestess from Reaper Bones Black. She does come in metal too, so you can find the metal version of her. And I don't have a color palette for her yet. I'm figuring out the colors, but I will also post those in the Discord. So if you join my Discord and go to Thursday night paint alongs, it'll give you the figure that we're doing, and then it'll give you the color palette. So most of the color palette will be basic colors, but then I'll go through and tell you what I'm using for my colors, and then I'll try to add some alternatives for other people so that people can get their stuff together instead of going out and buying all kinds of stuff. For March, we're going to work on April, we're going to work on Mr. Grimkill Bloodbeard 30102. That's what he looks like. So, these are just things I had laying around. I'm like, let's paint together. I may have one I think I got him at ReaperCon, actually. When I did the tour, I think I grabbed him. But, yeah, so, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Just trying to do some kind of, I'm getting more. Yes, I did, right? I got a lot there. I really did. So I started DMing for a local group. Well, not really a local group. They're in Connecticut, but I started DMing a live D&D stuff, and so I have some miniatures now that I have to start painting up. But yeah, so I've been into this D&D kick mode. I've been into the, I have all these miniatures that I have to do something with. So might as well paint, right? In person, like the ancient. Yes, in person. It's amazing. I get to roll real dice. If you have not rolled real dice for D&D, then do yourself a favor and try it. There is nothing like it. The sound, you know how people say that digital records are not like authentic because you don't get that crackling from the vinyl? It's the same thing with dice rolling. Just to hear it off the table and just to see it bounce and, you know, get like abnormal amount of 20s and 1s that you won't get from a digital roller. It's so bizarre. I'll have to acquire some of these dice. Yes. Yes, they are real. They are. But yeah, so I've been doing that. And I've gotten into this D&D kick where I've been painting up a bunch of stuff. Oddly enough, I got 2 orders from Shiny Math Rocks. They exist. I did a Reaper thing for Lizard Men. And then Muses wanted the Dragon Turtle. She wants to paint the Dragon Turtle. So I did another order to get a bunch of Gnolls. So, I have him right here. So this is what we were painting on Tuesday. I was painting up this Gnoll guy on Tuesday. So we're just trying to get the base colors and the fur on him. I still have to get the spots and stuff. But how cool is that guy? I love this guy. This is, just to let everybody know, this is Bloodmane. And this is, if you like this miniature, this is Bloodmane 77236. He's an old warrior. 77236 from Reaper. So I'm hoping that I can paint up a bunch of these and make them look pretty good, so I can have stuff to enter in the MSP Open. How was your stream, by the way? What were you doing? Were you doing the roadshow, doing the listings, or did you paint? Were you playing games? I know it's like I haven't been around in a while. I don't know if you heard, but our company had another round of layoffs just before Thanksgiving. People left before Christmas, so I am in the bag for doing something. I've been learning how to do something for work that my manager had done, but my manager had taken out. His position got laid off. That's what I should say. Nobody technically got laid off because they could apply for another position in the company. They were getting rid of positions, not people. But he chose to leave the company, so he's left holding the ball. Alright. So we were painting up the trim, the red trim. I think we had done most of that. One of the things that I would like to do is to paint this base down here, just so that I can actually see where the miniature is going from here. So I'm just going to paint that up really quick. I'm just going to take a little bit of black and paint that up. It's cold down here in the cave. But yeah, I'm almost done, by the way, but I'm gonna hang out and paint just a little bit longer. So hopefully you guys are just kind of hobbying along. Feel don't feel like you need to, you know, hang out or continue hobbying. I mean, it is late, but I'm so glad that people came in. I thought my music was putting everybody to sleep and nobody was talking in channel. Then I thought I wasn't even streaming. I was like, I wonder what's going on. But this has been an odd week. I mean, it seems like there's been a lot of low viewage and everybody streams in the afternoon. And that's the other thing. My work laptop doesn't allow me to lurk anymore, so I have to use my personal laptop, and the amount of time it takes me to take this laptop upstairs into the office and try to lurk is more trouble than it's worth. So that's probably why people haven't been seeing me lurk in a while, because it's not as what do I want to say here, as available or easy for me to do anymore. Alright, there we go. We'll do that for now. I know. It's so lame. I used to do it all the time. I was so productive because I just had people in the background. You know, it's like you go from being in an office where people are around you constantly talking, you kind of get that white noise in the background, to being at home constantly with no white noise. I get so distracted. And so, it's either I go and lurk or go on YouTube and get music, but that only happens for so long. Or I was lurking on Twitch, having the background white noise. It was great. And I got more work done. I'm just more distracted when it's so quiet. So this mixture that we started with this tongue, I'm going to start going with a little bit of white. But remember, white is a very powerful color, and that's going to really brighten this up. So we don't want to use too much of the white. We're going to just use enough of it just to kind of get around the tongue hair area. We're going to stay to the front. Just like so. So we did the red, added some ivory. Now we just added a little bit of white to that. So that'll make it nice and poppy. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some of that black color and I'm just going to kind of go around the rim of the teeth. And we'll do it the other side. Using the tip of the brush and being very slow and methodical. Just making sure you're getting in the teeth area. There we go. And this is what we'll do to grab the teeth. I think we'll do that next week. Just going to go on the top here, on the upper part. And do the upper part here. There we go. Well, thank you so much for that raid, Big Jim. I appreciate it. So here's what we got done on him today. We got a lot of the red trim around his armor done. We got some of his shield done, so we kind of did a little bit of highlighting in certain areas. You're not going to see it. If I put it here, you'll see it because it's kind of lighter. So it's kind of like where the light is hitting. So there you go. There's the streaks of paint right there that we hit. So it kind of brightens up certain areas. We did the scales of the scale mail. So the next thing, and then we did the pants tonight. So we got the pants done. We got all that stuff done. So I think next week we're just going to start spot hitting a lot of the details. We're going to clean up some of the around where the red is, get the black line going around certain areas, and we'll work in some belts. There's a couple silver pieces that I will work off stream. Mainly this middle piece right here. Whoops, let me do it this way. This middle piece, and there's a little black over here. That will all get metallicized. So I'll probably do that off stream. And then I'll clean up some of this stuff on stream or off stream. But other than that, we're looking at next week working some more stuff, and hopefully he'll be ready to go. No problem. Had been a while. Yeah. It was a big while. But we're back. We've been back since February, which is great. So I want to thank you to Big Jim for coming with your raid twice. It looks like you raided into me twice. I'm gonna take this off. There we go. Again, like I said, Thursday nights is gonna be paint along night, and if you missed what we were doing for February, if you missed this guy for February, no worries. You can come back. You can come back in March, and every Thursday night from 9 to 11, we just paint, and you can follow the steps that I do, and you can use some of the techniques that I do, and we'll start working on the Dark Elf Priestess. In April, we've got Grimkill. So that's coming up. So join the Discord. Look for the color palette to come. It's in the channel called Thursday Night Paint-Alongs. So there you go. Maybe I'll take a picture of him before we leave. So, because usually people like to see stuff like that. Let's see. Even though he's not finished, we'll give him his due. So let's see. That looks like a good angle right there. And we'll do. Let's see. And we'll give him we'll take a picture of his big old butt. All right. There we go. Will you be at paint party anytime soon? I was at Muse's paint party Sunday, this past Sunday, and then I think her next one's gonna be March 19th that I'm hoping to get to. But yeah, I was there. I was looking for you. I wanted to pick your brain about some D&D stuff, but you were busy, so. Yeah, it was this past one. We didn't have a lot of people there, but it was Super Bowl Sunday, so I didn't expect a lot of people to be there. I'll try to make the March one. Yeah, March 19th. And anybody that's around the area that's watching, you want to go to a nice, cool paint party up in Methuen, Mass. You could check Queen's Gambit. If you're not following their Discord, you can follow the Discord and check out Queen's Gambit and find out when their next monthly paint party is. I don't know if you're going to TotalCon next weekend, Big Jim, but I know that she's going to be there, and I'm going to try to make it there for Friday night and Saturday afternoon. I'll probably be painting at her little area until she has like her classes or whatever, and then I'll probably just kind of bounce around. But I don't know if you're going to be at TotalCon up in Marlboro. No, scaling back the sword thing now. Got laid off and being responsible. Oh no. I'm so sorry. That sucks. That totally sucks. All right. Well, then if that's then if I don't see you there, I'll see you March 19th in person, unless I can lurk you on, during the evenings when I have my laptop up in up in the office. But we're gonna go find somebody to raid right now. So let me come out here and properly thank everybody for coming out tonight, and I appreciate it. Hopefully everybody's been painting along, and those of you that came in with Big Jim in his raid, my name is Geltip. I'm a miniature painter, and every Thursday night we're going to try to do this paint along. This is something brand new for 2023, but you can always catch me on Tuesday nights at 9 to 11, and I'm just painting something ridiculous, so you can come in and hang out. And then Thursday nights, if you grab yourself the same miniature that I paint, and the same colors for the color palette, you can paint along. All right, let's see. Who do we got on? Oh, it's Critical Role night. That's why nobody's around here. Critical Role is on. But we don't want to go to Critical Role. We want to go see people painting. We want to talk to people. Wow, nobody's painting. Hey, She-Wolf, how's it going? Hey, folks, there's a gentleman in Twitch that's actually streaming tonight. His name is a Night Whisper. However, he's not mini painting tonight. He's doing World of Warcraft, but he's trying to get affiliate. And I guess affiliate, you need to average 3 viewers. So if you could just kind of stick around and help him out, that'd be great. I think he has all the followers. I think he has all the days or whatever. He just needs to average like 3 viewers for whatever reason. So if you could just kind of hang out and just do that thing we all do for about 10 minutes, it might help him out to get him to affiliate. But it doesn't look like anybody's really painting tonight. How are you doing, She-Wolf? First time chatter. Welcome in. My name is Geltip. Yeah, I don't see anybody else doing any kind of miniature painting. That is really kind of sad. I mean, Kaylee Larson's on. You guys want Kaylee, or do you guys want a Night Whisper? You want to help a Night Whisper out? What does chat think here? Hey, good. Hanging with the Creative Corner. Yes. That's awesome. Let me give you a quick follow, because I don't think I'm following you, and I go check out your channel. Let's go help the dude out. All right, let's go. All right, let me just grab him here. And let's go over here. Raid a Night Whisper. And all right. Hey, She-Wolf, thank you so much for stopping in. We are going to raid out, but I will see everybody back here Tuesday night at 9 p.m. if you're so inclined to hang out. And we'll be back next week for more of the paint-along of the Dragonborn Fighter. Have a great night, everybody. And again, Thanks for all the support you've given me over the past 3 years. I thought I was raiding. There we go.
Cinderella the pumpkin.
Oh, thank you for the raid. Sorry I'm not painting miniatures tonight, but oh, hold on, let's see if this works. And so
Quinn, could I get a Riz? Get her a Riz. Sorry. That just
there we go.
sound funny, huh? I like it. It sound funny.
Oh, I don't get one. Fuck me, I guess.
Oh, thank you for the follow.
Where are you?
Hold on, I'm gonna
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm gonna
yeah,
just
screw
turn
that.
off chat for a second.